very picky.
Recording. Good. We're recording on both platforms. So y'all go ahead.
All right, so this is now just a free-flowing conversation. We're
Right.
just recording it, so some of the memories you have from starting Neela Massey in Guyana with some of the earliest.
Correct. That was a very long time ago. I had a look at thinking of Guyana and thought it would be an excellent place for us to operate. So I had to go before the board of Neela Massey, which was Mr. Charles Massey and his whole group. I was a fairly new employee there. So Charles looks at me after a while. When one or two of the other directors, old men, heard I wanted to go to Guyana, they said, listen, one of them said to me, have you heard Venezuela wants to take over Guyana? I said, well, that'd be a good idea. That's one way we can get into Venezuela. But Charles is a very practical guy, wonderful man. He looked at me and said, Sidney, you sure you want to go there? I said, yes. He said, go ahead. And that was it. Went down there with another guy, another junior fellow, and had to find a place to open a branch. And with
Pause.
Oh,
That's worse. So a little crap.
Remember we started with
Yeah,
rented
I know. It's
premises.
hard to kind of.
Remember we started with rented premises in
that's right,
Cambridge?
yeah.
The corner there, like his own, we went from.
Correct.
It was only a downstairs we rented to, not the upstairs.
Lila Soon.
Right.
And we rented premises
Yeah.
to start down there.
You cut off or?
No, I continued. So we can, yeah, I'm just going to let it keep rolling.
Okay.
And we can just start back.
okay, you're still rolling?
Huh? Yeah, just listening.
Okay.
Yeah, we rented premises, and I think we started with about 3 people. No?
Yeah. 3 or 4.
3 or 4, yes.
Yeah, I think we're like 3. I know one.
Lila
was upstairs,
Soon owned the building which we rented. She was quite a character, but anyway, we negotiated and got the place to rent and started from there.
And a bottom flat too. Huh? It was a 2-story wooden building,
That's right,
and we started at the bottom flat.
correct. And it served us very well,
Yeah.
matter of fact. I think I could see that Guyana offered tremendous potential from the beginning. And the funny part about it was the difficulty of going to Guyana itself made sure nobody came to compete with us. Nobody wanted to go there. But I was very keen on it. And we really, I think one thing that made it easier for me was the aircraft we had. I got aircraft because you could go down there in a flash and get things done right away. It made a hell of a difference.
And come out in a flash.
And come out in a flash too, yes.
It was,
And it worked very well for us. And it made us, it allowed us to develop Guyana properly. And I looked at the annual accounts today, and it looks quite impressive. So I think you've taken it and made the whole thing much bigger. It's limitless. Guyana can grow tremendously in the future and will grow.
Agreed.
I remember you saying early days that countries just don't disappear from the earth.
That's right.
Your words, right?
Correct.
So you said we should stick in Ghana,
Correct.
right? And if it won't disappear, it will turn around. We would get there despite or in spite Bornum. Just stay, hold your course,
Yes.
and things will change.
But it was an amazing thing that in this modern day of history, that Diana had Burnham, then Mrs.
Jagger.
And Jagan,
Yeah.
and Mrs. Jagan,
Yeah.
and one was worse than the next. But we survived.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. You had to choose what you wanted. That could accomplish,
So who was the best of these presidents that you recall? Or the least worst?
No, well, a fellow who was really good was Hoyt in the end. Whilst Hoyt was part of them, he had a different approach altogether. And Hoyt made a big difference. But that was years, it took years to get to that. But to survive originally with those characters of Burnham and Jagan.
Yeah.
I remember there was a conference with all the Caribbean heads in the Bahamas soon after the election in Guyana. So I thought I'd get up there. I had to represent certain things anyway. I said, but I want to talk to Jagan. So I flew up to the Bahamas. I met him there that first night. I never forget telling this man various things on how it could be done. He said, no, I don't want any of that. He said, I don't want any of that at all. And he refused to change direction or whatever. And when I left there, I said, well, yes, Guyana, there's no chance of anything happening.
And when you came back to Guyana, we arranged this in the Chelly Jagan presidency and
That's right.
Jagan presidency. So we went, we had a meeting, and you were, I was kind of in the support sort of piece of it. So then President Jagan said he would bring back Guyanese at $1. Remember that?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, and then your words were, that will be the most expensive dollar
That's
you
right.
would ever spend. He had this thing about they were communists, right? So he said he will bring Guyanese back from wherever. And they will work for $1, they will work out a lot. So,
I said, that's the most expensive dollar ever. Oh no,
so they moved from one extreme.
but such a wonderful country to have a succession of damn fools as prime ministers of it is what it was.
One of the signal things that opened up the private sector and gave people a voice in the private sector is when you went down and addressed
Yeah.
the private sector for the first time with the presence
Yeah,
presence of
that's right.
Tell us
maybe you
that
should
story
talk
again.
about
Tell us
it.
that story again.
Yeah.
I want to catch that story on camera.
Yeah.
Yes,
When Hoyt was trying to get
well,
you.
yeah, Hoyt, he tried to get me, but I went to Jamaica. I said, he's going to want me to come to Guyana, and I don't feel I'm going down there. I would have to tell him the facts. So I went to Jamaica. Hey, next thing he calls me in Jamaica. And I said, oh, Mr. President, I'm very sorry about it. Really, really, I give him a good story. He said, that's okay. But you tell me what day you can come, I'll change it to that.
You already had a deal.
I had, so my center stump got knocked down. so we fixed a date and I went down, and I didn't realize there was this big show. What's the name of that big building?
The National Cultural Center.
National Cultural Center. Pack! Apart from cabinet in front rows, everything else. I said, well, today they're going to hear the facts. Because I made up my mind I was going to tell them exactly how I felt about how they were going. So I was very pleased at the end. Hoyt thanked me. Thanked me very much. And I realized that's what he wanted. Somebody from outside to tell the Guyanese people, or cabinet, all the ministers, what were the facts of life. And I told them that, I'll never forget the opening thing, that if you listed all the things that a country should never do to grow, Guyana's done them all. Yeah, that was the opening salvo. And when I saw Mrs. Burnham's face then, boy, oh God. But it was a hell of a thing that such a wonderful country could be dragged down like that, eh? It shows politics, right? But now you have a different scenario, you know, how to handle this new world in Guyana, because it's going to be a change, total change. Don't you think so?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. We're seeing it already.
Is that right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes.
The new will.
new wealth. A lot of people building new homes now.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
The thing I would love to see is Guyanese coming back to Guyana in due course. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll happen.
It would.
You know?
Good.
And what is good is that it's a major oil company involved, the first one involved.
Exxon.
The biggest in the world.
Exxon Mobil, yes.
That's right, the biggest in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe there are others going to come in different.
Oh yes. The initial agreement was with Exxon and Shell, you know,
Yes,
and Shell pulled out at the last moment.
correct.
Guess what?
They're
Shell
regretting
coming
it.
back.
They're coming back
Of
in.
course.
are they? Yeah.
They applied for license. Right? So what had happened, some of the older, when I say older guys, when Guyana was sort of now emerging, they got licenses. So now the licenses are worth big, right? So like Shell is not coming, they're not coming on their own. They're partnering with somebody who already has it. Right?
Got it.
So I mean, Repsol is there. Yeah,
But
Shell.
it's good that it's Exxon, the first one, because they got the money and the ability to develop that place. And it's going to be well done.
So this here is Exxon 45, 30 with Hess,
Yes.
and 25 with the Chinese.
That's right.
The Chinese oil company.
Yeah.
Sinopec.
But Exxon will run the whole thing, you know.
Oh yeah, they run anything.
That's right.
They run anything.
So you have to
All the
decide,
technology.
you and your team down there, first of all, the things that you have that you will develop, right? And you got to give some serious thought to what else we could ever do. But you have to be careful. You can't let enthusiasm overthrow you with that. But the existing lines you have can all be developed, of course.
For sure.
So it's the main thing.
And
You're
they-
not in the motor vehicle business now.
Yes, man.
but not me in the with distributors. For Nissan,
You're distributors.
yeah,
For what you have?
Nissan.
Nissan. Very good.
And you just opened up the car
Car
rental
rental,
business.
Good one. That's a good move too.
Alamo.
Sure. Alamo.
And maybe you
Have
could-
you, but where are you operating from in Guyana right now?
while we're still in that
Same area?
Yeah, but the next door we built a new facility there. I don't know if you went back then.
No.
And then this existing facility where we are, we have a plan to
Rebuild.
to knock that down and
Right.
make it more.
Because it's a good location.
It is. And the distribution company, which was get his grant before, is now we built a brand new facility.
Oh, yes?
We have one of the best distribution facilities in Ghana.
Good.
IT systems and everything. Best. A lot of principals. So by doing that, we were able to attract world-class principals.
That's right.
So our thing is
That's-
how you sort of weed out.
Correct.
Right. So
You're going to have a
it's-
marvelous time, man. Marvelous time. You know, I think it'll be wonderful.
So maybe you could go back for us when we moved from Camp Street in the rented place to Rhineville where Inlim was, and speak a little bit how that grew and maybe talk about the tap here, how we launched, so Alex could capture.
Yeah, well, the tapir, we were looking in those days for a variety of things to be involved in. And of course, the motor business was important to us. And I talked with GM, General Motors, and they had just brought out a program out of England where they would supply gearboxes and engines and the three main parts per
Yeah.
car, specifically
The
designed
CKD
that you could then go ahead and build the whole car and put it around that. And I thought, well, let's do it. And we did it, and we sold quite a few of them.
Yeah, we did. We still have some on the road up.
I know. That is the kind of thing you had to do to
Those were real steel in those days, right?
But do you give the story of how it got the name?
Yeah.
the tapir.
Well, what we did, we engaged the staff and we had a little we asked for submissions, right, from the staff, and so I had a little team that looked at it and they selected the tapir. Tapir is a real tough animal. In today's world with your car, you'd be worse off with the tapir if you happen to hit it on the road.
Yes.
It's quite a strong animal. It's in the wild in Ghana.
And so where was it planted?
Right at right. You know the back there where the workshop is and so
Yes.
that was the
Right
tapir
there.
plant.
Right there.
Wow.
So when we used to rent, we had another facility in the industrial side that used to do bandag with thread, separate. So
That's right, yeah.
when we exited the vehicle business, we brought the plant because now we had to contain our costs and so on, right? Because the economy sort of made us exit the vehicle business in those days because
That's
you couldn't
right.
get foreign exchange, right?
Mm.
So it started to constrict. So bandag was very profitable for us too,
Yes.
because you know new tires weren't coming into Ghana, so we that was small, so that was quite profitable for us.
Wow.
But did they send, because we had the assembly plant here,
Yes.
they sent equipment.
Yeah, so the assembly plant that went for the tapir, the majority came from here. I had a fellow name, I can't remember, that you sent down now, an engineer fellow that set it up for us.
Yeah.
I
I don't remember names again, you know.
Okay.
And that-
Not Jesse Jackpot.
No, the name might come back.
So why did you get the tapir lifted up by helicopter to be taken?
no, that was to launch it.
Oh.
That was
We had a whole cabinet as guests,
Yes.
right? And to launch it, to sell them, of course, and to make it known.
So this is a marketing gimmick.
Yes,
That's right.
It was.
What?
It was.
Correct.
They lift the car by helicopter and bring it down on
Correct.
The
Circle,
president.
circle Georgetown,
Circle Georgetown.
right? With the helicopter
What
and
year
came
was that?
and put it down
1975.
Oh my word.
and put it down in front of the
76.
cabinet.
75.
Wow.
That's when I told the boy, I said, this drop on the cabinet is a hell of a thing. No, but as it worked. It worked very well.
They picked it up from the GDF headquarters, which is by the seawall,
Okay.
in a play field there, and with a strap and it was flying overhead, and drop it right in the lawn of the inlet. You know,
Yeah.
that-
Wow.
they're just there.
So Georgetown was able to see it
Yeah.
being
Wow.
flown around Georgetown,
Wow.
and it came right down and put down on
A
our.
very good marketing.
And the GDF, the Defense Force, they were our biggest customer.
That's right.
So they will buy 10 or 12 one time, which is big for us.
Correct. That's right.
Which is a lot for us.
So the automotive was the first business in Guyana for Massey?
No, it started as trading.
When did it start? Because it's 50 years ago.
1968 it was registered.
It started with Ducal.
No, well, probably you should talk how we acquired Dokal in 74, 75. Probably you should talk about how we acquired Dokal from the Sharwinka family in the Caribbean.
Well, Dokal, well, a guy flew in from the States here.
Sharwinka.
No, not Shawenka, this is the banker.
Okay, the
A banker, part of New Jersey, senior guy, to see me. And he told me that we knew Shawenka died in a plane crash
His son, the younger one.
and had no succession. And he, the banker, had to decide how to get rid of the assets. And of course, they were in Trinidad, in the gas business, in a big way, and in Guyana
And Jamaica.
and Jamaica. So,
Suriname. They had a small piece in Barbados too.
Yeah.
Carbon and the CO2 plant.
So I met the guy at the Hilton, I'll never forget that. And we started talking about Trinidad, and I wrote down the figure of what we would buy industrial gases for. So he looked at it. He said, man, if I agree to that, they'll lock me up. I said, well, go ahead. Go on. He
How
said,
did
"Well,
you arrive at that figure, Sidney?
well, I had looked at industrial gases, and well, I didn't want to give him an attractive figure anyway.
Right, okay.
So it was a matter of I'd done some exercise myself on it,
Okay.
and then he was going to Guyana, And I said, I'd be interested in Guyana. He said, right. When he came back, and I told him the figure for Guyana, he said, well, definitely lock me up with this.
So you were buying Trinidad also?
Buy
Oh, yes,
whole,
yes.
all the whole thing, Jamaica.
Everything. So
Carbonics,
So- I said, so I had him to hang then. I told him, well, oh, you don't like my offer? Well, go ahead. It's all right. You can. I'm sure you'll sell it easily in Guyana. This time I know nobody will put a cent in Guyana at that stage.
Right.
He watched me. He said, Sidney, you're joking, man. I said, no. So he agreed eventually to the price. He said, but I want a letter in writing now of why price is so low in Guyana that you are offering. So I said, no problem. And of course I did that. And he went off to Jersey and they agreed.
Fantastic.
But I tell you the best part of it. So it means now we had acquired Guyana and Trinidad. And when he gets down there, when he accepts this thing, he finds that he can't take the money out of Guyana.
Oh, wow.
I said, I'm sorry about that. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the going rate and you give me all the money and I'll keep it for you until one day you all get permission to take it out. But by law, I could only pay him, I can't remember, very low, 4 or 5%. So I'll give you what the legal people say and leave the money with me. And I used the money very well and I paid him eventually when he got permission to move out.
Wow.
So it was
Well, a great deal. but-
what?
Those days don't come around so often anymore, boy.
We use the money to help develop the.
That's
because
right.
they weren't paying attention to the plant,
Correct.
So in the backwater, so to speak. So we use the cash to develop the business.
That's right.
Free.
I remember them saying that the money in the company there was as much as was a significant amount of money in the company.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
It was a very, very well-run company, and
So as we were developing inland now, we borrowed those money free. When
That's
I say
right.
free, at
Low
and I have a
interest.
rate, right? But very low rates
that's right.
because this company was growing. But that was kind of starting, but they had a lot of cash. So that since then, Dokal became the banker for the group.
That's right.
It always generated free cash flow. right?
Correct.
Do you
Well,
remember?
That was a master deal, man.
Master deal.
What?
Master deal. Those are still some of the prize assets in the group today.
Correct. Yes.
Do you all remember when you all met? Do you all remember meeting each other?
Well, when I joined the group, I joined as a clerk, right, in the accounts department.
That's right.
And in those days, our year end was in August. And I happened to move quickly through the group. One significant piece was for the financial year June, or interim audit, the bank reconciliations weren't done for the whole financial year. So it was taboo. You remember Victor Tingaki and Ken Tingaki. So Victor called me in the office. He said, "Do you ever do bank?" I said, "Not in practice." But he said, this is overdraft." He carried me in the board. And, so he started with overdraft and everything in the work. He showed me up.
That's right.
So by the end of the financial year, I brought all the, and this, I remember the company going, right? So it started an already sort of exposure there, right? So, and I happened to be on the board when you were still chairman, you were exiting, right? In the
Yes.
time and so. But those were good days. Good days meaning you learn a hell of a lot. You were tough, but
You
learn.
That's right. You have to be a good learner, though.
That hasn't changed.
But and you know the amazing part, when we started to go down there and develop and so on, some of my cohort friends in Trinidad in the business world, they Knox gone mad, you're going to Guyana, it's a waste of time. Well, now you're going to bust. I said, well, we'll wait and see. and we
Oh,
said-
that's what they say about us going to Colombia now.
And even some of the Massey directors in those days would come with
Oh,
the
yes.
side. Privately, they would come. They would say, I hope you know what you're doing.
That's
you know,
right.
That kind.
Well, no,
They were
some of them were not in favor at all.
concerns, right? They say, remember Fred Scott was
Yes.
finance,
That's right.
and then you had this guy that died,
That's right. Edgley Morris.
and another one, can't remember his name now. But anyway.
Finance?
His son eventually had a position doing the group. He used to smoke a cigarette with an extension.
That was Edgley Morris.
No, it wasn't Morris.
No?
No. But Fred Scott knows had for that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are fellow directors. I mean, I'm not knocking them, but they were totally against Guyana. I used to get a lot of criticism of it, but I was convinced that big country had to develop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like the people and think it would work out.
I remember you saying as we started to accumulate cash, you know, as the downturn came, our businesses were generating cash. You can't invest it anywhere else, and we use our leverage with the cash. GRL Ideal, they used to make refrigerators and stoves, and they had a cash flow problem.
That's right.
So what we do, we got into that business where we provide cash to get preference in product. And then by having the gas cylinders to sell the stove, you know, is a big winner for us. Right? They have to find innovative ways in a dump.
Oh yes, you have to have many innovative ways of getting through.
Yeah, that's great.
We had to give
About
credit to the resilience of the people.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I don't know if you remember in the early days in the hotel.
Oh God, don't tell me about the hotel.
We had to get, they didn't have towels and so that much, you know. We had to get a soap. You had to bring a bar.
No, but there was one hotel, I tell you something, I
Park.
arrived down there.
The Park Hotel, I think.
The Park Hotel. I said, well, tonight a dead boy. You're hearing all kind of
I
noises.
remember that.
I didn't sleep properly, you know. I'm expecting a fellow to break in the room anyway. Hell of a thing, man. But that's what I had to say because that was the only thing.
You didn't have, you know,
Didn't have to call house yet?
No. It was, so that's why, going back to what you were saying, Mr. Knox, trainees weren't going, there were two things. The facilities one, and then you had this thing with the customs.
Yes.
You have to, in and out, you have to declare your money. And they come, your
That's
money, and in and out, dollar for dollar. I remember one of our executives, I wouldn't call the name. You know, when they issue you traveler's checks, you have the sequence, right? So they were new. And he put 400, but it was actually 5 in coming in. So when he was going out back, and he said, look, I have a false declaration. Well, Jen said, look, the sequence is there. Right? I was at the airport and they had to do stuff and so you could imagine people go to Guyana with trepidation, right?
As people were scared of Guyana altogether, boy.
Wow.
But we were happy. We were happy going there.
So that's
I
why
love Guyana.
I said about the aircraft.
That's
You
right.
said it was getting in, and I also said to get out.
That's correct. No, I use that aircraft like hell, boy.
So tell me about
Yeah.
Nilco Air, because I think it's a fascinating detail thing that we had a fleet of aircrafts at one point in time.
You had what?
A fleet. We had more than
yes.
one airplane, right?
Oh yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I started with using an aircraft belonging to the head of Amoco in Trinidad, an American who had a wife who flew.
Shrine Air, right? Is it?
No, it wasn't Shrine. Shrine was something else.
After.
No, she was a pilot. And of course, the guy himself was a pilot, but he was the vice president here in Trinidad, Amoco, so he made a deal with me that he would rent the aircraft. I said, well, what the pilot? he said, okay, you rent a pilot. So I had a woman pilot. And I was flying around to Jamaica and all this lady.
Wow.
And to Guyana a lot, right? I never forget Suriname.
And so she didn't have a co-pilot?
No,
And there was you fly with
co-pilot is me. So I went down to Suriname, and we had a Chinese guy there as a partner, local fellow.
Liverpool was the lawyer. I forget the.
This was another guy,
the
anyway.
other China. Hans Liverpool was the
That's right,
oratory in
correct.
Suriname. I
So
forgot
when,
the guy.
when I saw that fellow that night, he said, well, how you came down? I said, well, I have a private plane. You have a pilot and so on? I said, yes. I didn't tell him anything. But she came down for dinner, dressed in one sweet-looking evening dress. The fellow looked at her. He watched me. He said, what? I said, no, it's nothing like that. He just said, she's a nice lady. And she was a nice person. But she's a very good pilot. Very good pilot. But does taking chances, you know, with one pilot. And going to Jamaica, for instance.
It's
you
a
know,
plane.
it's a hell of a thing. But anyway, we survived it. And you know, they went back eventually to the States, and they used to call me from Houston, both of them, and say, come on, have a drink with me, man. And that's how we started, and from there we got pilots and built up the aircraft. But we always had, the way I did it was I had a aircraft that was not on the top, it wasn't a jet. And that was
Here at one time.
that we could use for going to the various islands there. Because in those days, you remember too, the air services were not very good around here, you know,
Yeah.
particularly down to Guyana and so on. And then I progressed it, and eventually we got David Harris, a New Zealander pilot, very experienced man, who worked for the international agencies all over the world. And he joined us. A very nice guy, first-class pilot man. And he encouraged us to go ahead with a jet. And the jet, of course, made a hell of a difference, you know, so forth. But what happened too was not everybody liked to fly in those small planes, like Jesus Pasos. Was terrified of flying. So as I retired, and he became chief executive, he sold the planes. I agree with him. He was scared like hell. And but we had accomplished what we wanted by that stage.
Right.
But that's something for you to worry about now. An aircraft, bear in mind Colombia and Guyana. Eh?
Yes.
You'll pay for the plane many times over. That's what people don't understand about an aircraft. They look at the cost. That's all they're looking at. How about the benefits? You know? And
The costs are very tangible.
oh yes, of course. Of course.
Right. Absolutely.
You're not costing executive time.
No, and that's right, no doubt about it. I mean, the difference, if you have your own plane, to go to Colombia, for instance, as against going by commercial to Panama and then transfer into that. But by being able to get there fast, you can accomplish a lot. But I mean, that's something that you'll look at in due course. But that's what I found, that being able to move quickly made a hell of a difference. So, anyway, that was by the way.
Another signal thing for Guyana, Mr. Knox, is the opening up of a free press.
Yes.
And maybe you should talk, speak to.
Well, I was convinced that what Guyana needed more than anything else at that time was a free press.
Around when was this there?
This was early days now.
This would have been in the late 80s, because Hodge is the one who gave you the license in the end.
I know, but I went there before that.
The it'd be like 87, 88 kind of thing.
Mm.
When you start to shuttle the papers down.
That's right, correct.
And Guyana did not have a newspaper up until
Well,
then.
all we had was a government paper.
Oh, it was state
They were all
controlled.
state-owned.
That's all you had.
So there was no voice then for independence, for business.
And
you
what's
know,
his
the
name?
ambassadors.
What's his name? Who was going to run it?
David Carey.
De Garis. David De Garis was a wonderful man. First class editor. And
Lawyer.
that paper started telling the truth about Guyana and was a very great success story from that point of view. It was the only voice in Guyana that tell the truth.
Wow.
Because the rest of it was under Burnham's control. And I think we needed that to develop Guyana. That was the broad picture.
And you got the other major newspapers, people in the Caribbean.
That's right.
And we also had a stake.
Ken Gordon.
Yeah, the
Oh yes,
Express in
it
Barbados.
was supported
paper,
by the other, of
and
course.
the Jamaica paper.
Correct.
Massey had a piece too.
Yes.
The
And
building
that
with
all
the
helped
statue.
Guyana tremendously.
Wow.
Because, it's a hell of a thing when you get a government like that. Your hands are tied.
Yeah, absolutely.
The two private sector companies, when we formed the company for ourselves and banks, the eyes, but banks was a small piece.
That's right.
Okay, you know Peter Ligard, the time.
That's right.
But we had a big stake. Well, to get it going, right? It wasn't like, it had nothing to do with money, right? And returns and so on. It had to do with giving people a voice, giving some freedom.
So it sounds like, we talk about when Massey was rebranded and we have our purpose and we talk about being a force for good. But really and truly, it's the same,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
the values and the purpose.
That's for sure.
are
Because
really
then,
consistent with everything that Neil and Massey stood for.
no, correct. No, you had to take a much broader look at in Guyana. And it worked. It worked.
It definitely worked.
Because Hoyt, in the end, the president was then the president who responded. He converted totally. He used to talk to me and we used to chat and so forth. And I realized that we got through. Made a hell of a difference.
But then he was followed by Jigger.
No, Jagan is in front of him.
No, after Hoyt was Cherry Jagger, then
Yes.
Janet.
That's
Was
right.
Burnham, Hoyt.
That's right, Burnham Hoyt, sorry. Burnham Hoyt.
Then,
Then Jerry
Cherry,
Jagan.
then Janet.
But,
But- Julia, just want to go back to about Mr. Knox's people, his concern for people and how much he loved and cared to use that now for. And all the guys still remember, the older fellas like myself, and still want to thank you for it. He used to send down the plane with a hamper every December for
Yeah.
all the staff, every single staff.
They couldn't get anything.
Get a
We used to
box
send
from
hampers
in
Uh-huh.
those days, and they will do
for the
flights
employees.
up and down. Every single employee got one. The fellow working in the yard, everybody get the same box. I will get
It's
the
well
same
worth
box.
it, boy.
Wow.
And that was no charge to Ghana.
That's right.
Absolutely
They're coming
no
from
charge.
head office.
Right. And the food stuff used to be picked up from Hilo.
That's right.
Wow.
And how many employees would it have been at that time? I mean, what
That
kind
would
of
have
scale?
been like 300.
Yeah.
If you do, right? Do call and
Let me tell you, the human side of business is extremely important. A lot of people don't recognize that,
Oh, for sure.
And I felt that we had to keep on that.
Oh yeah.
And it built a tremendous loyalty with it,
You would.
And it was really very successful. But it's great to see Guyana now coming through totally on a different basis altogether.
Sure.
What's the political side of Guyana now?
Well, we had a change in government 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
but the guys had to get their experience and so on. But I mean, they can't hide behind that anymore.
No,
They have to open up. But they try to do things their own way, having like audits and so when they're taking over. But those things, it took a while.
Yeah.
And then, But I think it has to get more on a business footing. The economic side, the economic development side could
Yes.
be improved.
Correct.
But I think they're on the right path. I think they sort of identified what they need to do and on the path there.
Well,
But,
it'd be
you know,
great to
like-
see that.
You don't forget the previous government was in power for 23 years. And they went up. So you know the pains when you come from opposite. You know, it's easy to criticize, right? But now you're in charge.
That's right.
So 2 years have gone. So you know they think they start to get their feet wet and hopefully in the right direction. And the thing with Exxon and on the oil finance, so it's a whole new breath of fresh air then, and sort of more optimism as you would expect as people look ahead. That is not to say that we are going through a little bad patch. Some of our sugar is not doing well. Sugar is going through.
No.
Rice is getting up back. Gold is doing pretty okay. But the big thing about gold, I would say half of it is smuggled on the
Oh, yes,
trade,
yes.
right? So it doesn't flow into the economy.
But it'll have a big future now, boy.
For
big,
sure.
big future. And a company like ours really got to look at itself and try to see where you're going to be,
Well,
what you need.
Jarvis and the exec team, we've been looking.
Sure,
So we
I'm
take
sure
a
you've been doing
team
that.
approach, and as we do our strategy exercise and so on.
Correct.
Ghana is now, well, not now, it's always got prominent. So now we will get even more
Oh, yes.
focus
Correct.
as we
For
look
sure.
ahead.
An investment.
Yes.
So one of the
yes.
things we anticipate is that we'll see a lot of activity on the construction side of the economy,
Yeah.
because as money flows into the
That's
government,
right.
there's so much infrastructure work that Guyana needs. You can start to see trucks, heavy moving vehicles, and just road construction, bridge construction, seawall construction.
Right.
So that actually might be an opportunity for us with our group partners who do construction projects. So we're going
Correct.
to start to,
What about trucks? You don't have heavy trucks?
no, but we do.
We
but
just got a line, Iveco.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's a good line.
but we have a few lines here in Trinidad that we
Yes.
should try.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. We have some beautiful truck lines here in
we have
Trinidad.
we have some good
Yeah.
lines in Trinidad that we should be trying to get into.
You have Mack and things like that,
Yeah,
man.
we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I would say that it's important that you once again benefit from Trinidad
Oh, yeah.
in this new oil business.
Agreed.
That's
We don't have
that's-
to reinvent the wheel. I mean, the
Correct.
experience is there.
That's right.
Last week, Tulsi, what's her name?
Policy.
No, Tulsi, that's her first name. They have this training thing.
Tulsi Bagan, no?
No.
Oh, Renata Tulsi.
Tulsi.
Renata
Renata
Tulsi with
Tulsi,
the
yeah. She came with Ram
Cresta.
Crestcom.
Crestcom.
So they had a little bit trying to get her interest to have a look. Tell her a chat with you
Yeah.
later. And she said in the Marriott Hotel
Uh-huh.
in Ghana, she thought she was in the Hyatt in Trinidad with the amount of Trinis
Yes, yes.
that she saw in the lobby and
That's
and
what's
the
gonna happen
restaurant.
now.
And she said for a moment she had to take a second look. And she
That's
said,
That's what's going to happen.
That's funny.
That's why we
That's
can't
thought she
afford to
was
fall
in the
asleep
eye.
at all.
Yes, for sure, because everybody's on the bandwagon now.
That's right. Correct.
And we
But
have
I want to
seen-
ask you something. The retail places, you have built one at Oyo.
One store is
One
already
store.
built, and there's another one being built right now.
should
They're
open.
good size, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
The
This
one,
work
the one
will be
that
big.
is already built is a good sized supermarket, but the new one is going to be a super center.
Yeah.
A very big one with white goods and electronics and that kind of
That's
stuff
right.
as well.
Correct.
The first one that we built is the biggest all-purpose, so to speak, full service
Is that right?
freeway supermarket.
And
how is
Like
it-
the expats would go and shop there.
And you're getting the results in sales
Yeah,
and so on.
it's growing. It's making profit month and month.
Oh, very good.
And the next one with movie town people, so you
Yeah.
have like an entertainment.
Yeah.
So it will be a destination in itself.
Tom arranged for the movie town people to meet with me, and we had some execution thing. We got some stuff moving.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So Derek Chin and two his attorney came,
Okay.
and Hayden, I don't know if you know Hayden, and the elderly guy with his jacket, I can't remember. He's one of the money guys in it.
Oh.
So we're making some progress.
The Fairpoint Scott.
No Pierpoint. Well, not
Right.
Pierpoint.
Alright.
Pierpoint didn't come.
Abraham.
Abraham, that's the guy.
Yes.
Well, they have done damn well, haven't they?
He asked, he
Yeah.
asked a lot of questions like you, right?
They have.
So what I've done, Jarvis, is to open up our group to them for services. All of it. So I did, I sent it out. So we
Very
worked
good.
on-
Very good. Very good. Very
I
good.
tell them there's no need to bring in hot dog and so in Ghana. We get it all. And we had a little challenge with the gas contract, and we get iron out right by my office.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
it's up and running back.
I think people recognize that that Massey's been in Guyana for 50 years.
No.
Not the general
No.
public.
No.
Because even our recent staff, when you say recent, like the last
There's some
5
people
or
who know,
6
yes.
years.
But
Yeah.
not the wide public, I don't think.
No. And that's why we have to do
I think
a
we should make
job
that.
going forward. Oh
Yeah, we have a big,
We have a
big
plan.
celebration this
We
year.
have a plan.
Celebrations.
You have, eh?
Yeah,
How many years? 50?
50.
years this
50 in September.
50. What year did we start then?
1968.
68.
The company was incorporated in 68, but you would have went down, remember when we started, it was a joint, but Agostini was involved.
No, it was
I can't remember.
All
Yes.
sons.
Alston's.
Yeah, Alston.
Yeah, well- At the board meeting where I presented my business, at first a lot of the older directors were very concerned. But then Vernon Pereira, who was Alston's, when the meeting finished, said, Sydney, I would like to participate. Yeah. So I said, fine, but I made up a thing that we're going to 50-50, but
Yeah,
should the ownership of anybody change, right? The other one has the right to buy it out totally.
Very good.
And that happened.
That
And,
happened.
and it changed quickly. They
Very
weren't
quickly.
long
So
into it.
Macanini took over all
Yes,
sons.
yes.
Yeah.
And then we exercised the right, and so we became 100%.
Yes.
And so that worked very well.
Rofus boy, back as early as then.
Right at first refusal.
But Guyana, I believe, in a few years' time, boy, it should be a very successful
Well,
operation.
another thing we used to say often was Ghana's, but high in potential, right? It has
Yeah.
a lot of potential.
Correct, that's right.
People say that all the time, but
Yeah.
then you said, "Don't worry, it's going to change someday," right?
Correct.
Some of our executives would say that Ghana is like Carl Hooper in the old days, right? Carl Hooper supposed
But not
to
everybody
be
was,
this great batsman, right?
not everybody at the University
Full of potential.
was in favor
But never
of this
delivered like Brad
venture in
Barnes.
Guyana, you know. I got a lot of fatigue and criticism about going down there.
That's all right.
And but it turned out to be very good, lovely, and everybody had to keep their mouth quiet then, right? And so, how old are you now?
66.
You were a youngster.
Well, I feel fit and healthy. I had a little hiccup for a little while, but I feel fit and healthy.
I'm 84.
No, you older.
You older than that. You older than 84.
Oh, no, he just winked his eye to me. when he said 84, he winked his eye. His left eye.
Anyway,
He
But-
told me the other day he could 194.
that's teasing her.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Not teasing me.
'no, but it's wonderful seeing you, eh?
Good to see
And I'd like to
you again,
thank
sir.
you very much for arranging to bring him here.
I told Julie did all the arranging. I tagged along.
Thank you, madam. It's been great. I never imagined I would have.
Well, I always, now and again, we were to do this since last year, remember?
Yes.
And something or this came up in the way.
So there's a great opportunity here,
Yeah.
and we thought we should capture it. We should
Correct.
capture some of these stories.
Well-
We'll make little vignettes
Yeah.
to show as part of the 50th, you know.
Very, very good idea. No.
Just to on the social side, so to speak, there was a period of time when the sports teams from Trinidad would go to and they will charter DC9 in those days, and they go down like on a Friday and come out back on the. We had athletics, we had cricket, football. Well, don't let me tell you the score in football. In cricket, we'll hold our own.
Oh, yes.
But football,
No,
usually
football.
be like a double digit for Trinidad, right? Athletics,
We
you
had,
know,
we had Milan Master Games.
Yeah. I remember Bernard Whiteway. You remember
Oh,
Stanley,
yes.
right?
Bernard was a
Bernard
great,
used to be captain for the Trinidad cricket team.
Bernard was an excellent guy, boy.
And Bernard hit one of the longest sixes I've seen in Ghana. The ground is opposite the National Park.
Yeah.
Stanley was the bowler, and Bernard hit it with the wind. This ball sailed a good distance, and guess what? The next ball, Stanley bowled him. Bowled him, right? You go to repeat the shot, and he got
Yeah.
bowled.
Yeah.
But Bernard always talked to me about how is my friend Stanley. Ask him if he remember the six. So when I tell Stanley, Stanley said, you tell him for me I bowl him the next ball. But in those days, you know, you had good camaraderie and you had fun times.
That's good. Awesome.
Boy.
But that's not the trainees, of course, will go down well armed, not with exactly, not with guns. So we didn't have all that kind of alcohol and so right.
Correct.
So they will go down. I mean, they're going for lime, right?
Correct.
4 o'clock on Sunday morning, some of the fellas still in the.
What about Suriname? Suriname
So,
hasn't developed at all.
No, it hasn't really developed. I mean, we went into a joint venture with the Kirsten Group.
Yes.
The Kirsten Group is owned by the Moravian Church.
Yes.
And we started to do some things in the energy sector together, but things didn't work out so well, so we've kind of backed away from it. But it's funny you mentioned Hans Limmerpau, because he's now started a university.
I know him.
And he is actually looking to get the Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business to
Yeah.
take over his because he has no succession plan for it.
Right.
So it's funny how the interconnections. And it was only as you told the story did I realize that he has that connection with Neil
Yeah.
Massey.
Yeah, go back a long time.
It's interesting.
Because when we had Bandak too in
But I wonder, where the oil find in Guyana is not close to the Suriname border.
Not
Well,
really.
no,
It's
it's in
outside.
proximity.
the other
but-
way.
No, in the
north.
same way, it's northwest kind of, right?
Oh, yes?
Where the big find is. But you have oil too, supposedly in the border
Yes.
with Suriname.
With
They
Suriname.
have oil too, but they're not in the finds that.
Not in all this side.
It's not this kind of size again.
No.
That's wrong. But they say that there's a plane
Yeah.
that should carry through
Correct,
to
yeah.
Suriname.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so you have some folks now taking exploration
That's why I wonder,
acreage
yes.
off of Suriname,
Yeah.
Correct.
trying to
Well,
follow the trend.
Well, they were saying that when there was one called African South America was one in the breakaway.
Yes.
When they look at the geological whatever.
Yes, yes.
On the western Ghana, where they have the oil, and where we are in that stretch,
Right.
it's the same kind of formation. so-
Correct.
How long has Exxon been there?
They've been there to this agreement was signed when Janet Jagan was
Is that right?
Oh wow.
was president. But you can imagine, because we had no investment coming,
They never moved.
the thing was generous. The terms were extremely
Is
generous.
that right?
But
Of
the
the
For the Exxon.
The
Yeah,
typical
the
license.
license. So they got 600 acres, as against, even though our law at the time said 60 acres,
600.
they got 600.
That's a fair size.
But when the oil, it was renewable in 15 years' time. So it was renewable last year, but the agreement was already etched with Exxon about royalty and so on. So we had a big increase from 1% royalty to 2%,
Yeah.
100%.
100%. So yeah, I should have said 100.
Wow,
But it's low, right? It's
that's very low. In Trinidad, they take in excess of 75% of every bar.
Yeah.
The royalty alone, just the ORR is 55%.
But
But is it caused
but they
Exxon
have-
to explore fast, boy?
yeah. And
They
they-
won't get a sweet deal like you
And
know.
what will happen to we will get 50% of profit oil, right? But they do the accounting, and well, you know, they have to get back their
Oh,
investment.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when they fly up people to Houston and
Yeah.
Brazil, they have two training centers in Brazil and in Houston. So
Yeah.
as they recruit people, they take them up there too and so, right? For training.
Yeah.
And when they come, so all those are charged. Like when they come to Ghana to do their.
And the other
That's
thing
not
about
about
nothing
six
charges
months
compared
work.
to the oil profit.
Sorry?
The other
That's
thing
nothing
is,
charges compared to the oil profit. That's
Yeah.
training charges.
Yeah.
well, you
Yeah,
know,
I'm saying-
The big spend is the capital expenditure
Yes.
to drill these wells. So boy, do I have people
I-
coming home to me for 5:45,
Oh,
so I've actually got to run.
I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. You spend
Yeah.
much more time than we anticipated.
Don't mind.
Yeah, you have full
That's
energy.
no time, man.
Huh?
That's no, I
Julie will
really, I
come back
really
some other
appreciate it.
point
No,
in the
thank
year.
you, and I think we
have
captured a lot
another
of great
chat.
stories here, so really appreciate.
You know,
Yeah,
I
it's
know
very
you, I know you
standard.
weren't an alcohol person, but we still have good Guyanese rum, right?
Correct,
So the
correct.
next time we come, I'll have to
Correct.
bring a bottle for you, right?
Yeah.
Boy,